These are the display of the items that we discovered under the floor, mostly the floor of the sanctuary, when we were ripping up the old floor to rebuild it for the renovation. Found a number of interesting things that I think some people would like to see. This is a slice of the floor that we took out right in front of the pews. And all the different layers that were there at the time that we took it out. You can see that we've got the original subfloor. This is the original fir hardwood flooring that they would have built in 1910. Then a linoleum and a newer layer that was from the 1990s that we were all walking on, or maybe from the 2010s. And there were other layers as well that didn't make it. You can see here we have a few scraps that we found in some corners of different carpeting, old bottle caps or cigarette boxes, kind of interesting. One of the more fun things was we found a coin, a dime, from 1917. It was in a collection of other coins dating up to the 50s near the baptismal font under the floor. We're not sure how they got there. There was no obvious hole for it, but that's by far the oldest coin that we were able to find. It's kind of interesting. And you can see here, this is the same floor that we had on our layer here. And it is the hardwood floor. So this is kind of a rough idea of what the stain on it would have looked like. It's a little rough. It's had a lot of staples and nails from flooring on top of it, but that might be the stain that's on it. It's an old can, yellow ochre. We assume it's a staining oil. Here's a very interesting piece. So in 1976, I believe, there was the largest fire that happened in the cathedral. It started at the sanctuary lamp, and spread in parts of the sanctuary, destroyed a couple of stained glass windows, and we found a few bits of evidence of it underneath the floor. You can see this is charred from where it was burnt, and we saw a whole section of floor that was covered in soot. So that's a little bit of the history of the church building right there. One of the most interesting things, other than the coin, I think, this stopper. It's for a cruet for the water and wine holders. This little cap for it. It was in a corner underneath where the statues were for the longest time. And who knows, the rest of it could be in the back somewhere. So that was the only sacred vessel that we found, or anything of that sort. A scrap of wallpaper that we found at the bottom of the pillars, but it may have decorated whole sections of the wall, we're not sure. Underneath where Father's chair was, that area, there was a whole bunch of cut-offs of like flooring or stair nosing or baseboard or trim work, and a whole bunch of shavings from hand planes. So we assume that the finishing carpenters must have had a little workstation set up in that corner where they were cutting their pieces and everything, and that garbage was just left underneath where it was gonna be. Have you ever heard of knob and tube wiring? These are the knobs, these are the tubes. So the original 1910 electrical wiring, if it had to go through a joist, it would go through one of these, and if it had to just be held in place, it would be wrapped around this. So we found a whole bunch of these in the floor from the old original wiring. They're ceramic pieces that are of a time that it's good that we're not using them anymore, but they serve their job back then. And then probably the funnest thing that I found in there is this is a tool from 1910 that was used in the original construction of the church, and was just found under the floor. It's a one-time use item generally. It is called a running mold. And if you wanted to have plaster detailing on something, you would pour the plaster either in a trough, or if it was thick enough, you just make a bead along the space where you're doing it. And then you would cut a piece of metal in the shape of the profile you wanted, and you'd put it against it, and you'd draw it across several times to get the shape of the plaster. And so that's what this is. You can see it's covered in plaster. And when we look upstairs in the church, the upper level of stained glass windows, the little lip at the bottom of them has this exact profile. So it's a tool that was used in the original church construction, and you can still see what it built today, which is very cool. Those are most of the fun things that we found. I think we'll keep it up here probably indefinitely, probably while the renovation's going, so people can see. And yeah, we tried to save as much of the interesting things as we could find. So if you're at the parish, come by and see it for sure.